Reliable Tennessee Valley forecast.
We are just a few weeks away from the kids heading back to school. They might not be so excited, but I bet the parents are. Melanie Coakley is here, or she's letting us come back to her at Ready, Set, Sew. Good to see you.
Hi, Julie. It's good to have you.
This becomes kind of a boom time of the year for you, especially, I bet, for you this year, Melanie, because so many people during COVID discovered the love of sewing. You've known for a long time the fun of it.
Yes.
Now a lot of other people do too. So you've got classes. When the kids are back in their classes, moms can come and enjoy classes with you.
Yes, exactly. This is where they are. If you're looking for them, they've escaped and they're with me.
You know, when we have these conversations, I will totally confess that sometimes I get a little bit glass-eyed by you because you know so much. You don't have a conversation about sewing with Melanie that you don't hear. And then there's another thing you can do. There are endless,
True.
there are
It's so
endless
true.
ideas.
It's so true.
Right?
It's so true. I won't tell you about the slings I just put in some lawn chairs.
You see,
It's unending.
so, okay, let's talk a little bit, though, about some of the classes that you have.
Yes.
As you would expect, there are quilting classes, right?
Quilting, sewing, applique, beginner sewing. Beginner sewing is our #1 class right now.
When you talk about a time commitment for these classes, Melanie, what are you looking at? A beginner sewing class?
Beginner sewing is probably a 3.5 hour class.
One day a week?
No, just one shot.
Just the one thing?
Well, you can do it. You can do different projects, but so far like in the last month, we've had in the last 6 weeks, we've probably had 3 beginner sewing classes. And so the first one, they did a pillowcase similar to this. So they did a pillowcase. So they actually they learn how to sew and they leave with a finished product.
We'll talk about the quilting in a minute because that's a big
Yes.
part of your business.
Yes.
But with the sewing class, if you want to make a pillowcase, great. But what if you want to learn to make a Halloween costume for your child?
Well, you got to
or-
learn how to make a pillowcase first.
Okay.
It's kind of like learning how to ride a bike. You have to learn how to pedal first.
Right.
So we pick simple projects like a little table runner or a pillowcase, tote bag. We have a tote bag floating around here, and everybody loved making the tote bag because it's a useful thing that they walk out of here. And I can't overemphasize the pride that somebody has when they've made something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think that they would. And so most people, moms especially, I think, are aware that they're beginning to make their Christmas budgets and their
Yes.
Christmas list. I mean, I know I do
Yes.
this time of year at my house. What a great gift to make something and then give it.
Oh, without a doubt. Especially personalized gifts. We, also have the embroidery department, so people come in and once they've completed something, then they can personalize it. They can put a label in the quilt that says who made it, who it went to. It was for my grandson or my granddaughter. Or
So talk about the personalizing. You've got this beautiful quilt here.
Yes.
That's in the working stages. It's a t-shirt quilt.
Yes, this is a t-shirt quilt that this wonderful guy brought in, and he explained the story. And that's the thing about quilting. It becomes more of a community, and just interacting with people, you learn so much about them. He said that his family has been doing this reunion for 20 years before they started actually commemorating it with the t-shirts. And so once you've had the t-shirt or the t-shirts, you don't want to wear the t-shirt anymore if you've outgrown the t-shirt.
Right.
What do you do with a t-shirt? You put it in a t-shirt quilt.
So I think when I was here one time before, I might have given people the wrong idea. So I want to set the record straight.
What?
You don't actually do the quilting for someone, do you?
No, we do.
You do?
Yes.
So see, set the
Yes.
record straight.
Well, see, we kind of changed since you did that because we had so many people call and we said, well, why not do this too?
Okay.
But no, we've always quilted. But he brought us the t-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now you're speaking my language.
Not we, I actually put it together in a t-shirt quilt for him.
Okay, so if you've been the hoarder,
If you're a
holding
t-shirt
on
hoarder.
to all these things, but you don't have the knowledge and you have to begin with the pillowcase before you can sew, they can come to you
Right.
and consult and you can create a piece
Yes,
for them.
yes, we actually do make t-shirt quilts for people, all the way from you bringing in raw t-shirts, just t-shirts, they need to be washed, t-shirts, to putting them together in quilt form.
Okay.
And he had quite a good time putting it together. He picked out his fabrics, he picked out his backing, he picked out even the design. And because this was held on the beach every year, this one was Wrightsville Beach,
Right.
he even picked out the little crab design.
And
so
I love
that
the
whole
bright,
quilt,
cheery yellow. It's so pretty.
and so he picked everything out, and now he has something to commemorate all the reunions that his family had.
So let's flip this one back. You and I are going to tag team it a bit.
Yes, we're going to.
And then you've got this little bit more subdued quilt here. This is a baby quilt.
Oh, yes, this is the baby quilt, and it's done in beautiful, warm tones. And you see the little deer and the bear, and and then we took the scraps and made a pillowcase to go with it. But this is a great start to a nursery. And so
pretty.
by starting out with fabrics, then you can also make your fabric, your curtains to match your nursery.
Right.
Instead of, there's just something that makes it really special when you do your own nursery. To me, it's not as fun. Click Amazon, click here, click
Exactly.
here, done.
But I do want to
This
stop.
will last for a long time.
But I do want to say that we're lucky here to be our viewers, because you don't have to click. You can just come to the store at Ready, Set, Sew,
Yes.
or Embroidery FX, which is the neighboring business that they have here, to get this really and truly world-class work done, because other people in other parts of the country are clicking you to
Yes.
find out where you're located to
Yes.
take advantage of what you know.
Yes, and we also have online shopping. So we actually put kits together so they can click with us. But it's wonderful that they know that they've made this for their child. And in years from now, they will still have this.
Right.
The things that I made for my daughter that now her daughter is getting. And
Yeah,
so
you can't
it's-
put that into words.
You just can't put it into words. This was your mom's when she was your age,
So let's talk too a little bit about the other classes that you have. You mentioned applique. What would that be?
Now, applique would be something similar to this. And these are just little applique shapes that are cut out of fabric. And we also have classes for people who have cameo silhouette cutters. And you actually cut your pieces out on the cameo cutter. We have a class that teaches you how to cut on your cameo cutter so that you can wind up making this cute little Christmas applique wall hanging that you don't find.
That's right. It'll be a one of a kind.
Yes.
So do you also do gift certificates here, Melanie?
We do gift certificates. Yes.
So that would be a great gift to give somebody, because I think one thing that's happened too with COVID is that we're all so much more eager now to have experiences and not be stuck at home anymore.
Yes.
So if you have someone on your list who has everything, give them the experience of coming to one of Melanie's classes.
Yes. Well, it's not only me. We have other instructors that come in and teach. I do the bulk of them just because I feel like I am technically trained. I'm not a YouTube trained
Sensation.
Yeah. I mean, well, I am. We've had almost 4 million hits on our YouTube. We have 26,000 followers, so we're doing something right. But the thing is, my degree is in clothing and textiles. So when people want to know how I did something, I'm usually teaching a class on how that was accomplished, because they don't teach it anymore, not like I was taught.
Right.
And so for me, I'm technically trained in the art of stitching. So I know, I can tell by a fabric and a match what fibers are in that fabric. So I took a lot of chemistry. I mean, I know what threads to use on what fabrics. And it's interesting for me to watch the newer generation coming through that don't have access to the technical training that I had, because they don't know all the different threads. They don't know that firemen need a certain fire retardant thread for their garments. They don't know that race car drivers need that same kind of thread, because if something happens, the thread shouldn't flame.
Right.
So it's a very technical industry.
So when
From my
people,
standpoint.
you mentioned the website. Are people supposed to access the website or call you to find out about the class schedule that you have? Because they're ongoing.
Yes, if they'll just call the store and give us their email address, or
Yeah.
they can sign up on the website,
Okay.
which is ReadySetSewTN.com.
And does it happen where people come in and they'll do the beginner sewing class, say?
Oh, and they fall in love.
Yes.
Yes, they fall in love with it. I mean, if you came in and this is the first thing you ever made, you're going to keep this forever. You're going to be
Yeah.
upset if anything ever happens to this. And then not only, I mean, this is just the springboard that takes you where you want to go, because you have to learn about inches and increments and quarter inches and straight stitching and what kind of thread to use and what kind of needles to use. Because you don't want to use the wrong needle on the wrong fabric.
You know you're a lovely person, but
I
you still
am.
intimidate me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get a little technical every now and then.
It's just because you know so much and you've perfected what you know. So let her teach you. It's Ready, Set, Sew on Ringgold Road in East Ridge. They're just right before you get to the tunnel, or if you're coming from downtown, right pretty soon after you get through the tunnel,
Yes.
right? Either way you look at it, they're close to wherever you are in the viewing area. Go to ReadySetSewTN.com or give them a call, and you'll have your own masterpiece before you know it.
Yes.
Children's Fair has been serving growing families for over 40 years with the area's largest selection of baby furniture, bunk beds, and gliders. Come visit our